I think in the next 10 years we don't need to look at finding new standards for national ID documents. I think what we need to do is really finding a way to harmonize the usage and especially the control of ID documents, whether it's a driving license, whether it's an ID card or residence permit or something like that. I think there lies the very big challenge for both the people issuing these documents and people using it. Because in the end it doesn't really make sense if you find more and more features, more and more standardized or one standard internationally, whether it's European or worldwide. But what you need to find is a kind of standard minimum level of security when checking these documents. And of course not just when checking it, but also when using it.
Currently, we have seen a massive rollout of ID cards in Europe, or this massive rollout is just going to take place at this very moment. The problem with all these ID cards, with all these nice, secure electronic documents, is that only the COW application is standardized and is interoperable within the countries. All other applications, like signature applications or the ID application, might not be interoperable, which means that, in fact, citizens from one country cannot use their ID card for specific purposes, for ID purposes in other countries. And that's of course kind of a problem, or kind of a pity. And to overcome this problem, we would need some standardization to get a common application on the ID cards.
Well, in regard to standardization of national ID cards, I think one of the next steps will be moving biometrics forward. We've done that for passports. Now we might want to secure our identity cards at the same level. And another point will be breeder documents, for example birth certificates, putting them up in a European standard, facilitating movements of people across borders.
For the moment, there's a big question. Is there a pilot in the plane for eID? We all know what happened with ICAO and the e-passports, and I'm sure that Europe doesn't want this to happen for eID. So we'll probably have to synchronize our efforts and to push towards interoperability or standards in a more effective way.
With national eID in Europe, we run into some interesting problems. It is national. It's a simple problem. People expect to see their national documents in their own language primarily. And at the moment, if you look around Europe, there are 27 or so countries, each with their own solutions. Some countries without any identity document. So for border control operatives, there's an issue of how do you know that it's an authentic national ID card? The solution is probably going to be one where the national identity cards still visibly remain different. But what will probably happen is that the electronic data held within that card will become standardized, probably by the international standards used for passports. So that you'll present your card again at perhaps an automatic border control, and it will be interpreted into the local language of the place you're entering. So that it may be that you have an identity document which perhaps cannot be read by the border guard. He may not know the language, but the data will be translated and presented to him. So he can see that yes, you are a European citizen and have rights of entry into that location, or for that matter for employment or for others or study. But that will take time. It will probably take perhaps 10 years before that actually happens.